Hello, my name is Rusty Fiore, and I'll be your instructor for Physical Sciences 2 this term. and I'd like to do a little video introduction for you to get you through a few of the beginning obstacles to get started on the right foot and hopefully maximize your success in the class. So I'm sitting here in my sort of makeshift shed art studio doing this video. Um, enjoying a little time off right now, getting ready for the next term, which obviously will be starting right there. So I'd like to share my screen with you, and then we will go through a few of the other aspects of the class via the Canvas page that you will all be working on this semester. So that's pretty awesome. Um, let's see. Going to Canvas here. There's my dashboard. and there we are. So let's check out one of these classes. So the homepage is just an intro page that leads to the more important things, which are mostly found in the modules section. A little picture of me under Bixby Bridge in case you need a reminder of what I look like. Probably you don't. So let's take a look at the syllabus first. You can do it on the link here or over on the left-hand menu button. Syllabus is just the description of the class and all of the necessary sort of details of how the class works, including the student learning outcomes, which you'll find right at the beginning. The student learning outcomes are what you're expected to be able to do after taking this class. And I think you'll find that the assignments and discussions peppered throughout the term meet all of these four different qualifications. But you can always check back and wonder like, hey, what is this assignment for? And you hopefully will be able to link it to one of these student learning outcomes. My contact info, email address, you could also message me directly through Canvas. The office hours, kind of weird in an online class. It's not quite as obvious. I don't like to just start a Zoom meeting, for example, and just sit there. That's a little tedious. But I will be sort of live online, which means I'll be kind of monitoring my computer during the times that are listed here under office hours, and I'll respond as immediately as possible. Keep in mind, I have a lot of students at any one time, so it may not be like within minutes, but certainly within the hour or within the time that's listed there. If you want a more interactive messaging sort of experience, we can do a video conference, and we can do that through Zoom. And the way to do that, would set that up, is to message me what times you're available over a couple day period during the week, and we'll set up a Zoom meeting. And you can host it, or I'll host it through Zoom in the Canvas page. And you can invite other people if you're working with other students in the class or whatever, or I can. And then we'll just do a little Zoom meeting during the office hours or whenever's convenient for you. We can set that up. And I find that a little more productive, especially if you let me know ahead of time what sort of things you'd like to discuss. I can do some prep and make sure that we make the best use of your time. So anyways, there's some other stuff here in the syllabus about the, Canvas class and whatnot. We're going to use one app, the iNaturalist app, which I'll show you in a little bit. There's some communication bits here, giving an idea of how quickly I'll respond, usually within 24 hours, Monday through Thursday. And then on the weekend, kind of depends, but certainly I'll respond Monday morning to anything you send me over the weekend. Or, if I happen to be in front of the computer, I might respond right away. Who knows? But within 24 hours during the week, and every Monday after on the weekend, for sure. The class conduct, I kind of expect that everybody will follow the code of conduct expected from the Pasadena City College policies. And this includes sort of interacting, being polite to your fellow students, being collegial, handling yourself in an appropriate way in an online class, including proper etiquette. And also that with regard to plagiarizing, that you will follow the rules and cite any references or sources that you use in any of the work that you submit. And as long as that happens, everything should be fine. Um, yeah, so if the links here in this section will give you some idea of the different conduct that's expected. And there's a special little bulletin down here, special note on plagiarism and what it is and stuff, if you're not quite sure about what that means. I will report any infractions on that. There's a little link on our webpage for instructors where you fill out a form for each thing and then submit the proof and all that business. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I don't think that happens all that frequently. Although I have had some classes where a couple people get started, for instance, loading stuff from Course Hero or one of these sort of sources for the course materials. They just start loading it and it's real obvious. And so you get zeros for that. And paperwork filed. But anyways, I hope that doesn't happen much. Just be wary. And if you're not quite sure, ask. I'll be happy to let you know sort of policy regarding that. Okay, so the work, your grading and things, basic grading scale, the sort of 90, 80, 70 thing. Oftentimes I'll round up from like 79 to an 80, or, when it comes time to submit the final grade. Um, yeah, and then the late work. If you let me know, I'm happy and flexible enough to work with you regarding your work schedule or changes in, whatever's going on with you at home. So let me know early if you're like, oh yeah, they just changed my work schedule and now I got to do this, and this week's going to be really tough, and that's fine. We can work out any sort of special schedule that you need. And obviously all your work needs to be turned in during the semester. And then, obviously I don't want you to get behind too much so that it would be an overwhelming project to try to catch up. But other than that, I'm happy to work with you. If, however, you don't communicate at all, you're just like, whoop, I'm going to slip this in, a day late or whatever, then there'll be a discount for that. And you can see there's a little schedule for that here. That's if you don't submit at all. Keep in mind, if you submit late work, if it's past the due date, that's okay. Just submit it to the assignment. If the assignment closes, then you need to attach that work to a message in Canvas with the title of the assignment in the subject line. If you post anything to the comments section in any one of the assignments, which are still open after it closes, I won't see that. I don't get a message indicating that you posted there. So if you post work to that kind of the comments section in any one of the assignments, I'll never see it. And so you won't get credit for it. So if you're going to submit late work after the assignment closes, then you'll need to do so via a message in Canvas. Okay, so at the bottom of the syllabus is the coursework summary. So you can kind of scroll through that. There's not a terrible lot of work in this class. I try not to give you a lot of busy work. There's essentially one major project, which is broken down into parts throughout the semester, and then a series of discussions to talk about the different aspects of science and society. So the first assignment, which is the check-in assignment, do you trust science? This is like roll for the first couple days of class, so be sure you get right on that and do that. And it's one of those discussions that talks about science and society and helps us to develop some thoughts about that. Then the next sort of four assignments, the assignments around Goethe's method, the iNaturalist project review, and the reading scientific papers are all basic skills for doing science that we're going to build in the first couple weeks that leads up to the ecological research proposal, which is the major project for the semester. And it kind of builds on these skills, reading scientific papers, using the iNaturalist app, and some basic science things. So really up to January 20th here, we have the basic getting started assignments. And then after that, you're going to be doing the project, and it's broken down into parts. There's the intro methods and biblio part assignment you turn in. There's then a results check when you do the results from your study. And then finally, the major poster session where you put up your final work with all the sections like a professional scientific poster. In the interim, you'll also notice there's a variety of discussions which meet the other student learning outcomes for the class. The anti-science here, science in the popular media, a logical fallacy contest, and science is scary. These are all assignments and discussions that are there to sort of include the breadth of experience that leads to an understanding of science and society and how science and logic meet and things like that. Okay, so let's go back out to that home page, and then just so you know, the check-in assignment is linked here. You can check that out. And like most discussions for the class, there'll be a discussion, every other week or every week or so. And so there'll be some reading you have to do ahead of time, and then some questions or ideas that you need to respond to. And you'll have a first post to any discussion. In this case, it says, consider the 5 factors the author suggests and post what you consider the 2 most important factors for you and why you feel that way. And then there's some peer interactions. Choose 2 of your colleagues and engage them in a discussion, comparing your perspective to theirs. And then often there'll be a final post sort of summarizing. So make sure you read these instructions, and to get full credit for a discussion, you have to be sure to get all the parts in there. So anyway, just a little word of warning, make sure you do the peer interaction in a discussion, because that's kind of an important part of a discussion, right? Okay, so then going back to the place where you find most of the good stuff for the class, go to modules, and you'll see it's kind of organized. There's the about the class page, but then unit 1 is sort of those first set of assignments that build the basic skills necessary for you to carry out your science project for this term. Something about making observations, the app we're going to use, how to read a scientific paper so you can use them in your work. All of this stuff is, the assignments are built in here, but you'll notice in the module, there are also these pages, like what is science? And I'm going to kind of assume that you're going to skim through these. They're not very long, but they have all the sort of basic background knowledge you'd need. Kind of like if we were meeting in person and you had a lecture. This is the sort of essence of what you need to know to be able to do these assignments. So it's kind of like that. Or you might think of it like a textbook. There's no textbook for the class, but it's kind of built into these pages. So if you start, say, on what is a science, and you read through that, at the bottom of the page, there's always a link for the very next idea, right? So even if you spend a little time reading that, then you're like, oh, scientific method. Oh, here we are. That's a little bit about that. How do I make observations? Well, that's the next button. And you can kind of clip through them. And if you do, you'll note that the assignments come up in the order that they should be for the progression of information that you're getting. So that's kind of how the modules are structured. And so if you're wondering, like, well, where do I get the content? Like, here I have this assignment, but I don't know like where to get the words, the terminology defined, etc. It's all built into these pages. And as we scroll down to the next part, this is all the buildup for your ecology research proposal. All of the background knowledge, papers you might want to refer to, skills like how do I ask a scientific question, or you have to write a hypothesis, so how do you do that? All of that is built into the module in these short little pages, right? So once again, you might just kind of click through those, each one as you go, and you'll get all the support you need, hopefully, in that. You'll note unit 3 here is once you get started in writing your sections of your scientific paper. In this case, it'll be a poster, which is like a scientific paper, but not on multiple pages. Anyhow, so how to do that, how to write a peer review, all these different things are built in once again to the modules. Here's module 4. This is about interpreting your results. And there's the results check that you're going to turn in so I could see your results. And then the final scientific poster project, where you post your poster, we do a little peer review, And yeah, and there's the information on how to what a scientific poster is, how to make one, all that stuff, all built into the modules. So once again, go to the modules, and that will help you to navigate the class and get the content that you need. Okay, trying to think if there's anything else that we need to go over there. I'll try to post announcements regularly for the class. I've pre-designed a few of them already for these different warnings, if you will, like, hey, well, don't forget to do this assignment a couple days early and that sort of thing. Or if things change during the semester, I might post some announcements that will give you heads up on changes in the schedule or whatever if that's necessary. Anyhow, so yeah, that's it. That's the essence of the class. Once again, welcome to it. I've been teaching this class for about 22 years. So, and I really enjoy it because the methods of science, the doing of science, is actually the fun part of science. Science as a topic, studying like the details of biology or geology or chemistry, is interesting enough, but it's actually doing it. There's a reason they call people scientists. As opposed to scienceologists. A scientist is very much like an artist, right? And as an artist, you have skills and you do something, you make a product. And the same is true in science. And that's really what this class is. Oddly enough, it's kind of like an online studio science class where you're actually going to do a science project and make a scientific poster. And so it's enjoyable for me because that's the essence of this trade and craft, if you will. So that's it. I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to message me. We can do this sort of video conferencing at any time, and have a great term. I really look forward to working with you guys this semester.